Okay, greetings and salutations, internet fans of podcasts. Anyone that enjoys having a beer or any kind of adult beverage, I don't care if it could be liquor for all I care. Welcome to another episode of Cocktails and Curveballs. My name is Lee. I'll be your host today. We're a little light on the panel. There was a little bit of an emergent situation that took Patrick away, and hopefully everything's going okay with him. And maybe he'll join us a little bit later. I don't know. As we always do, we always give mad appreciation and props to all of our men and women in uniform, foreign and domestic, past and present. Also to our first responders that have that job that nobody really likes, and they probably don't get paid as well as they should. Thank you to you guys, because without you, we can't talk this shit. So thanks very much. Hey, gentlemen, I know we had kind of had a bye last weekend. Hopefully everybody got recharged a little bit and is ready to go. We got a ton of stuff going on. First, I'm going to start off with what I'm drinking today. I want to hear what you guys got. I went back to this one because kind of had a little bit of a sweet tooth, and I'm not a big sugar guy, but this Cookie Death out of Ellensburg, Washington from Iron Horse Brewery, I found it again. I'm like, you know what? A little bit of sweet in the morning. Now I'm going to wash it down with some Coors Lights. That's what I'm going with today. So let me know what you're drinking, and let's get on some stuff, man. There's a lot going down right now. Who's got something?
We got to start off with the conference championships yesterday, right? And what the playoff committee is going to do today. Obviously chaos. Somebody really a monkey wrench into that, huh? With Alabama beating Georgia and looking the way they did. It's guys, I mean, with your opinion, I mean, I'm going to tell you my opinion, and out there, I'm sorry. I don't think an SEC team makes it. I think they just canceled each other out. I think it could have been Alabama, but Texas beat Alabama. You can't take that head-to-head away in Alabama that Texas beat them. You've got
how close do you think Jim, how close do you think that line is of no SEC teams and 2 SEC teams?
It's minute.
It's right? Crazy, right? Yeah. If Alabama and Georgia make it in, you'd be like, well, okay, that's not the craziest, right? Like, that's not the craziest scenario.
Well, it's not. I'm not saying neither of them deserve it.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's think about the criteria here. Is it just that an SEC team has to be in there? I mean, they do have quality wins, ranked teams.
Yeah. Play. And Georgia hasn't lost in like 3 years. And they were number one. And they were number one, played a close game against Alabama. It's hard to see Georgia not being in there.
It is, but you lost your own
conference championship.
Yeah, championship. And so the conference champion, I think, should go, right? Alabama. But where do you put them? Do you put them there instead of Florida State? Because you can't put them there instead of Texas, right? Am I seeing something not? Texas.
No, I agree with you, but the way this works, there's so much politics involved, though, Jimmy. It's like I brought it up before we even got started. The Saban effect.
Oh, they love it. Ready last night, starting in on this campaigning bullshit.
Yep, and they love it when Nick Saban's there. And the problem with that is you're right. Texas beat the shit out of them. Texas should be in there. That's my opinion. I think Texas should be there. Listen, I was hard on Alabama all year. And when they went down early to Texas, I'm like, okay, so this Alabama team, they benched Jalen Milroe, right? So they go to two quarterbacks to kind of cover that. Then they bring him back. And the kid, the last 4 weeks has looked insanely good. So I got to eat some crow on Jalen Milroe because I'm thinking, once they finally missed on a quarterback in Alabama, but evidently not. I mean, the guy's playing lights out. I think for sure UW has got to be there. I think the Dogs, you can't be undefeated with the wins that they had. And I mean, some tough quality wins, high ranked teams, and be undefeated and not be there. But do they get number one? I think they should be the number one. But I think it certainly works right now.
They certainly have a case. They have a case
to be number one for sure.
Yeah. And you know what? We're going to start to see here in the very near future, UW and Michigan playing in the regular season. And we're going to get to see Oregon and Ohio State fairly regularly.
Yep.
How big of a
USC.
How big of a shakeup? Okay, two things. How big of a shakeup is the Pac-12 teams leaving? The ones that did, the Oregon, Washington, UCLA, USC, Big Ten now. How big of a shakeup is that? Texas and Oklahoma going to the SEC. So let's say in a scenario where Michigan, UW, let's say Texas and Florida State all make it in. Next year, that's going to be 2 Big Ten teams, an SEC team, and then still an ACC team. But like, I think without a Pac-12 in there, does it make it easier? Just say conference champion from each 4, you're in. But it's 12 teams next year. That's what's going to be so much better.
Yeah,
Is you're gonna get the cream of the crop, 12 best teams. And if you look at the 12 best teams right now, if they made it, how crazy. What a good college football playoff that would be.
it would be unbelievable because you're going to have guys on the outside: Georgia, Ohio State,
Oregon's good.
Oregon,
Yeah.
the Ducks, man.
Yeah.
All they lost to
There's
was the
gonna be-
Huskies.
There's
I
going to
mean-
be some combination of teams that don't make it. And then if you look at who the top 10 teams are going to be, the college football playoff is going to be awesome this year, but also the bowl games. There should be some really good bowl games.
Agreed. But the thing is, like, when it goes to 12, I think it's going to get crazy, and I think it's going to be good because that one's potentially a 2-loss team could make it in.
guys. Right now,
Yeah.
the way it looked, anyway, was Alabama 5, Ohio State 6. That could be a New Year's 6 game.
Exactly right.
And again, how close is that to being the national title game?
Right.
Like that's not that far fetched
No.
2 weeks ago for that to be a thing.
Right. And by the way,
Michigan 1 seed
Mountains are
announced. Michigan 1 seed.
blue.
Mountains are
Michigan
blue. I'll be washing down my cookie with that with Coors Light today, Jimmy. So good on that. What you got drinking, Ty?
Busch
You've been a little
Light.
under the weather. You said this is your first.
Well, this is now my second, but yeah, I didn't have one single beer yesterday, which for me that's to not have one beer in a day through the course of. So that's how you know I didn't feel good. And that's also what my wife said. My wife also went, that's how I knew you didn't feel good.
I didn't have a single
Not common.
yesterday either. I had like 20.
Oh, nice. No singles.
I kind of did the same thing because
UW number 2.
Okay. Number 2. Okay, I'll take that. I was hoping they would be 1.
I think
but
that's
okay.
rightfully so.
Hey, I'm good with that. And I like that this is coming
They're
out
gonna
right now.
announce-
Everybody knows
yeah.
while we're recording what time, but this is perfect because that's good. Now I can't wait to see who's going to get knocked, man. Does Georgia
They're also going to
slide?
tell it. They're also going to say right here, I can see the bracket. They're going to tell us who 5 and 6 are. Texas is 3.
Nice. Good for the long
Yes. Okay. There you go. Yours. I want to see
Wow.
yours in there,
Texas.
man.
So that's a Texas UW first round. I think
Holy.
UW likes that. But I mean, it's going to be. I think it should be a great game. But I think UW might. I don't think their offense is scared of much. And they
So,
have
I don't
first
think so
round.
either.
And they have
Look at
first
it.
rounders. They have first rounders on defense.
Are we looking at Florida State, an undefeated conference champion, being not in it?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I think
Possible.
we're looking at Alabama number 4, boys.
Yeah.
God, I hope not. But yeah, you could be
Or
right.
Georgia. It's hard to draw. I don't know. That's
The question
I
is
think
now
you got
that
to take the conference champion, right?
do
who the hell
you?
gets number 1? Who's going to be number? I thought UW might get number 1. I was hoping to,
Michigan.
but I thought they would. Do you think Michigan will get 1?
They
I
already
mean,
did.
they're in. They have to be.
Michigan already did get number 1.
Oh, she's number 1. Okay, cool. Because
Yeah,
I don't
so
have
it's
it on my
Michigan,
phone. I'm not watching.
Michigan number 1, UW, and Texas.
Yep.
Right now.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
and-
number 4.
and
This is the big one.
It's gonna
This is the big
between
one.
Alabama, Georgia, and Florida State, right? Like,
Yep, got to be.
Oh, don't give it to Saban, man. Let him go play like the freaking Liberty.
that's what a tough
Tostitos
schedule,
Bowl.
though. What a tough schedule that they play.
Agreed.
They
Agreed.
only lost 1 game.
I know, but I
To a
still,
team that to now the number 3 team in the nation.
Michigan,
That's
Alabama,
true.
Michigan, Alabama first round. Ooh,
I wouldn't hate that either. Or
no,
I don't know that Georgia will sneak in. The Seminoles, I feel bad for them because their offense isn't on point and their defense is incredible, but I don't know that they'll get the nod. I think they'll end up with a big bowl game.
Oh, Georgia's at number 6. They're not in. Georgia's not in.
Georgia's
They're going
at 6?
They're going 6-5 then 4. Woo.
Okay, I'm digging
Georgia's at
this.
6.
Okay.
Georgia's not in. It's Bama, right?
It's
it's
gotta be.
It's Bama,
It's
right?
gotta
It's
be.
not Florida State.
and
No, it's got to be
Florida
Alabama
State
at
should have
4.
been- Florida State would have went in at number 3 if it was going to be Florida State.
So it's going to end up be up. It's going to be the freaking
Florida
it's
State's
be
going
the
to be
tide.
5. Florida State's going to be 5. Alabama's going to
Ah, this is going to be insane because
Bama's 4.
Bucks, yeah,
Oh, they deked me. They honey dicked me. They didn't announce 5, right? Because that would have gave away 4. But yeah, Bama's 4. Bama, Michigan.
so Bama, Michigan,
Washington, Texas, first
and
round.
Texas. I think Texas is going to have their hands full with UW, and I think that's probably as far as who UW might want to play. I think they're probably happy with that seeding
I think so too.
because they don't have to play Michigan. You know what I mean? Or play Alabama for that matter. Alabama always comes up big, when you get them to the playoffs. But holy shit! So there's our top 4. Okay,
That's
now,
it.
There we go. So
This
here's
is
where we
is
toss
this
around.
one of the most exciting though college football playoff ranking? Most
I think it is. I think it is
This
so
is
far
like-
that I can remember.
Anything
Yeah.
could have happened, man. I
Yeah.
mean, we wouldn't have cried if the Seminoles got in Florida State. Like, okay, well, it makes sense.
An unbeaten Power 5 conference champion up until right now has never missed the college football playoff.
Yeah.
So Florida
And
State's the
it's
first
so
one.
yeah, I mean, this one was kind of cool because we're sitting there going, okay, well, who the hell? Especially
this
after
out, guys.
Alabama
Think
beat
about-
Georgia.
Think about this though, and I'm going to call bullshit a little bit on this. Florida State wins yesterday, wins their conference yesterday to remain undefeated, and they drop.
Yeah.
They were number 4 yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and now they're number 5.
Well, because so when it
Oh,
used to be
man.
BCS, no, I get it. I get what you're saying, but when it used to be the BCS, it was a computer, right? The computer
Right.
said this equals this, this equals this. These are the 2 best teams at the end of the year. That's who plays for the national championship. And now it's a
Yep.
committee, though. Now it's a committee. They're like, are we going to take a chance on a second string quarterback for Florida State? Going into, I think if and I can't think of his name. I know it's 2 first names. The Florida State quarterback, Jordan Travis.
Yeah,
Jordan
Travis.
Travis.
The
Or
starter that
Travis
went
Jordan,
down.
right? 2
Travis
first
Jordan,
names.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
101,
he's got 2
101.
first names. I know that.
We're
And
good with either.
so if they would have won last night by 20, if in that Louisville game last night, how much
That
do you
could've-
think that changes it? Do you think
This is
they're
the best
like, because
part.
Florida State's defense is pretty good. They look pretty good.
Hey, Florida.
Yeah, but you remember when you were talking about the computer used to spit out the rankings? People were
Yeah.
pissed that a computer was doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Right,
here we are.
yeah.
But now, if you've got a
Mhm.
committee, so now you're trusting that they're going to not just
Exactly.
look at the dollar side of it, or
It is the dollar side. Stop. It is the dollar.
Oh, I know
side.
it is, but
My
you're hoping
goodness,
that that's
Are you shitting me? There was no way an SEC team was going to be left out of there.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
And that's what
No, I
just
agree.
happened. What we just saw happen is
Oh, yeah.
that they canceled each other out in my mind. They canceled each other out.
the tough
Georgia,
part is
all you
you've
had
got
to
the
do was
last.
take care of business. Georgia takes care of business. SEC team
They're in.
But I'm just
Yeah.
saying it also wouldn't be that crazy if it would have been Bama and Georgia at 3 and 4. I don't think people would have been like, I mean, it's that close. Like it would be so hard. I bet from last night after the Florida State game, the college football committee has probably been up the entire time. I bet they want to go to sleep.
in
Whoever
touch.
that committee
They
is.
were in touch, but it just the SEC champion. I get it and stuff, but there was going to be an SEC team in there regardless.
I think rightfully so.
Oh,
Agreed. I
That's
actually
a
agree
hell
with
of a
that.
conference.
It is.
So now next year, looking at these 4 teams, that would be 2 Big Ten teams, 2 SEC teams.
Correct. And
Because
this is gonna be
those
the
are
fun
going to be the 2 premier conferences. There's going to be 4 Power 4
It'd be
conferences.
Power 4.
Is right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can we get into that? I mean, you going forward, that's going to be pretty goddamn exciting next year. I'm sorry, next year is going to be insane.
And I think
with the playoff teams and how this is going to work out with all these people that have moved conference. And yes, we all feel bad for the Pac-12 and but for how these things are lined up now, it's going to make this a lot more fun because now some of these teams are going to have a lot harder fucking schedule in the regular season.
Oh yeah.
To try and make a case.
It's going to start to look way more NFL.
Fucking A. I like it. I'm excited for it,
So
guys.
check this out. So an Ohio State team, an 11-1 Ohio State team.
Right. Lost to the number 1 team. That's it.
Yeah. And that's the only loss they had. So they lost the number 1 team. Doesn't even get a New Year's Day game.
Not even in the they still might.
Nah,
oh no, I
the
guess not.
New Year's 6 is Georgia, Florida State.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that kind of.
So who wants to pick Ohio State up in a game that doesn't matter at all in the toast or in the the Ben Gay Bowl or whatever?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oregon,
Somebody
Ohio State
will
is always
Oregon
fun.
and
You know
Ohio
what?
State. Let's go with that one.
If we could get that game to happen, that would be fucking outstanding. Because I would make sure to see that bowl game
that day. I guarantee that.
Yeah,
that would be.
But it's gonna be interesting because as these bowl games play out, I mean, because you get down to the bullshit bowls where some school is just happy to make a little extra money and play in one. It's gonna be fun to see how these play out because I'm sorry, you guys, Oregon. If we were at that point where we had more playoff teams, they'd have a case. The Ducks had a case.
Top 12?
I mean,
Oregon would be.
Yeah.
Top 12, Oregon, for sure.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, so, and the fact that Oregon, okay, they lost to UW. They lost to UW. And it was not a beatdown by UW. Oregon's fucking good.
No, it was they won in like the last couple minutes. I think the 2 games they played, Oregon only lost by 6 combined points.
Total
3 points each.
9. Yeah, but in the last 3 meetings, it's a total of 9 points. 3 points in the last 3 meetings.
Every game.
Every game.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, so going forward, I'm excited for what it's going to become. Because you still want to say it's a little bit more NFL. I agree. And that's a hell of a lot more exciting for me. Because
there's going to be some other really good games. I mean, Missouri played their ass off this year in the SEC.
Yes.
They're a top 10 team. Obviously, Oregon. You know what? We got Penn State, maybe.
Yeah, and then what's gonna be kind of fun is like Liberty is 13-0.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying they're a top 12 team, but don't get that twisted at all. But you are right. Like you're going to start to see some of these. I don't know, maybe a high scoring team out of fucking Central Michigan or something. You know what I mean? Like that sneak in at 11 or 12 and can maybe make a run. It's going to be way more possible.
At least make some noise. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to at least be possible.
Do you guys think, because I actually, obviously people probably know if they pay attention, that I'm a big Grizz fan, which is FCS, not FBS. But so last night in that playoff game under the lights, I mean, snowing like a mother in Missoula. It was a great game. The Grizz owned the entire game, but found out during that broadcast that the Delaware Blue Hens, they're moving up, boys.
Home of Joe Flacco.
Home of Joe Flacco. They're going up FBS. So I'm sitting here thinking with everything that happened to the Pac-12, I mean, are we going to start to see a lot of these FCS power teams getting pulled up because that they can at least compete at that level?
I think initially we're going to start to see, I think teams like Montana and Montana State, one, geographically, they take over a pretty good section, of America. an Oregon State team that's not going to get their recruits, a Washington State team that is not going to get their recruits, the WAC with, or the Mountain West.
Yeah.
Boise State and Fresno State and San Diego State. Why couldn't Montana and Montana State be in a conference with teams like that?
Well,
they completely could. What I'm getting at is, though,
I think initially, I'm just saying initially, I think you're going to start to see Montana and Montana State and North Dakota and North Dakota State playing. They're not going to go play in Alabama. I think they're going to go play a team that like they can gauge their success on and go, no, we have a legitimate argument to say we can compete with those teams.
It would be a move to the right conference. Yeah, it would be a move to the right conference where their goal would be to get a bowl game. It wouldn't be the playoffs for a title because you're never going to do that.
No,
but something like that. But like because how the Pac-12 was decimated. This is why I think about this. I heard that on the broadcast on ESPN Plus last night that the Blue Hens are going to Conference USA. They're going to be FBS. So next year they're going to still play in the FCS, but they can't. If they make it to a playoff game, they can't have one because they're transferring up to FBS. And then the next year I'm going through this thing. I'm like, the Blue Hens? And that's where you're going? Okay. But it makes me wonder, with the Pac-12 being decimated, why the hell wouldn't they try to get some of these top tier teams? South Dakota State is a defending champion at FCS level, and they're undefeated #1. Why not get one of these programs that can compete? I don't know, man. I just think that the shakeup in college football is exciting as hell right now because you don't know. You don't know where shit's going to end up.
It's unprecedented, that's for sure. I mean, there's so much conversation about it right now.
Oregon State and Washington State next year, they came out with what their plan was. I don't know if you guys saw it. So they're going to each play 5 Mountain West teams.
Yep.
And then they're going to each play each other, right? And then they're going to play some FCS teams. So we're probably going to see Montana State, North Dakota State, playing Washington State, playing Oregon State.
Yep, that's exactly what I was getting at. That was my exact thought on them playing more meaningful non-conference games.
Right. So that's what it looked like to me is that they're going to go to the Mountain West first, and take the UNLV, Wyoming, Boise State, tough. Air Force plays tough. But did you already see, guys, that they're jumping off the ship? DJ Ugalele.
Yeah, DJU's gone. He's gone.
He's gonna go to his third school.
Or the NFL. Or the NFL. Cam Ward's gone.
Cam Ward, Washington State quarterback. He's transfer portal.
They say he's got 10 offers of 7 figures.
Sure.
At least $1 million. He's got 7 offers to go play for somebody for $1 million. Yeah, I would feel like he was stupid as fuck if he didn't go do it. As much as he could say, I love Washington State. I know, everything, this is fucked up, how everything happened, but for a guy like Cam Ward that may never even get a shot in the NFL, how would you not go make $1 million?
It's not only that, but he's got to go showcase his talents outside of the Mountain West, guys. That's he's a good quarterback.
You can't fault him. Can't fault him because he's looking out for #1. He's not looking out for the school anymore. He's got to look out for himself. After that conference blew the fuck up, okay, now I got to start planning for me.
Yep.
Unless Washington State said we'll give you $1 million and a hook, we'll give you $1.5 million, right? Yeah. Or pay up. But I'm not saying that that's even a possibility. But
again, if he's any kind of a competitor at all, he wants to improve his draft stock. He's not doing it against Mountain West and FCS teams.
Right.
They're just because they're going to look at that. They're going to say, oh, okay, well, he just threw for 4 bills.
Yeah.
Against Wyoming, which, by the way, Wyoming was a good team this year for the Mountain West Conference.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's such a disparity now between the. Right. I think even if you look at the Power 4, there's such a disparity between the Big Ten, the SEC, and then the other two.
Oh, it's huge.
The Big
It's-
12, the Big 12 loses Texas and Oklahoma. They're going to the SEC.
And they brought in BYU so far.
Yay. I mean, come on. I see it on your face, man.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah, no,
That's how you're going to replace those two?
No, the Big 12 got Arizona and Arizona State.
No,
I mean, they both played really hard this year, but
Yeah,
They
they
did.
played hard. I mean,
Colorado goes to the Big 12. At this point, you're like, I don't know.
So
Don't care.
yeah, but
And the
Big 12,
ACC is going to be Clemson based, period.
Clemson, Florida State.
Yeah,
Florida
that's going to
State,
be your power.
Yeah, Florida State.
The Seminoles are they're going to stick around and be a power. I think
They'll be
It's-
good. They'll be a
it's-
team that makes the
Yeah,
college football playoff. Some years, not every year. I think.
but you're absolutely 1,000% right in the fact that you're going to have a couple conferences that basically own the entire landscape of college football when it comes to a national championship. You're going to have competition, but I mean, what do you expect? I mean, when everybody left the Pac-12, did you not think they thought about this shit? Like, okay, so more money, more exposure. You're going to get more talented players too when you're playing that level because they want to make that money. They want that high draft pick. So no, man, it's going to suck a little bit. It'll be
And
fun
how
to
much?
watch.
How much does it make sense that a team from Seattle, a team from Eugene, two teams from LA have the funding? And let's not shit ourselves. Eugene, I mean, everybody knows how the Ducks and Mr. Knight, Phil Knight, right? I mean, they're so well funded.
so well.
They're so so you look at a team from Seattle, from Eugene, and two teams from LA, cash, right? Like you're talking about 4 cities that on the West Coast that like have as much money to send their teams to go play way farther. The travel, I don't even think comes into effect, right? That's not what their thought is at all.
I don't think they think about it. I don't think they think about it at all.
They're
Well, I
like,
mean,
no,
you
we're just
think
going to
about-
charter a flight. Because now we're going to make more money. Also, we'll just buy a fucking plane.
Well, you think about it. Okay, so they got to go to Maryland, New Jersey.
Rutgers, right?
Yeah,
Rutgers.
Fuck.
Yeah,
you know,
That's
I
a
mean,
fucking haul.
that's a
Yeah,
haul.
that's NFL. That's NFL shit.
That's right.
It's
the
not
other
what
hand,
college
it's not-
football.
On the other hand, those teams that were used to a day travel in the Big Ten, I mean, if you think about it, you're looking at Michigan maybe or Iowa, whatever. Their furthest trip is Maryland, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. Now they've
Which is
got
not
to go
that
out
bad.
to LA. They got to go to Seattle, the Maryland and Rutgers and Penn State. They got to go.
and you're gonna
Seattle.
fly into Portland probably, and then catch a plane to Eugene.
Yep. Or bus.
That's
whatever.
2 flights or a
Yeah.
bus. I mean, yeah, maybe a bus, but crazy.
We're going old school. Maybe a bus. Let's take a bus. From
Right
LA
though,
to
right
fucking
though.
Maryland.
But so in that same breath, Oregon State and Washington State, yeah, no shit, they're gonna try and grab some. Washington State to Missoula, we could bless that.
3
It's
hours.
not-
We're gonna bust
It's
that.
three.
Yeah.
We're gonna bust
you would
that,
because
right?
literally Wazoo. I've made that trip because I've gone
Yeah.
from Missoula to a concert in Pullman. It's literally a little over 3 hours.
Yeah.
Done.
That's what I'm saying. So now you
So-
grab Montana State, Idaho, Boise State.
Idaho, no, fuck that.
Oregon
The
State.
Vandals, fuck the Vandals because the Vandals in Moscow, which is what 8 miles from fucking Pullman, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So the Vandals went up to FBS. They left the Big Sky Conference
Yeah.
and went up to FBS, and they were a perennial doormat. They
Oh,
didn't
God.
win a
Yeah.
goddamn game. They got fucking destroyed. And guess who came crawling back to FCS?
But they're good, right? They are good.
Oh, I'm not saying they're
In-
bad.
in
I'm
the
not saying they're
FCS.
bad, but getting up. This is the problem with these teams. I mean, it's not like you have all the scholarships and all the money right now or for 3 years to plan for the move up. You don't get those scholarships, extra scholarships, and the extra money until you're a part of that league. So then when you get up there, unless you're a juggernaut and you have figured out how to take players away from, big FBS schools to come play for you, you're not going to win for 4 or 5 years. And it's really difficult. That's why it's hard for FCS teams to make that move. It's difficult because how do you get it when you have the Alabamas of the world where people are salivating to get an offer from Alabama? Because guess what? They're going to go to the NFL.
I think you just start to find more like hard workers. I think you just start to find more guys that like
you go blue collar. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they just care.
But when you have these top tier talent, no, but top tier talent, they're looking for their future. They want to go where they can get the most exposure and get the highest draft status.
But like what the FCS is right now, right, is like why it's fun to watch and shit. Because you're like, these guys are probably never going to play professional football. Like the vast majority of these guys aren't going to sniff an NFL field. So they're just doing, if you know that you're not going to ever make money doing it, you're like, okay, well, there's a lot of respect because they are going balls to the wall,
leaving everything on the field.
Yeah, exactly. The type of football that I know that we all, at some point in our life, were like, yeah, they try hard. I like that guy. He tries hard.
Yep. Yeah, and
it's a fact.
Yeah, and I think this whole realignment and shit in college football, guys, I think it really hurt. I think it actually hurts the FCS because of the recruits. Listen, man, even 2-star recruits that used to go FCS, now you got 4 and 5-star guys in the transfer portal. Yeah. Right? Going from school to school in FBS, they're sure as shit not going to go down to FCS. Yeah. So I think it hurts as far as the quality of kids. And when I say quality, I mean athletic. I still believe FCS, you get a quality of kid in there that you don't find on every football field. These guys,
those big schools aren't looking that hard.
Well, and these kids are in it for the love of the game. Right. I'm here. I get to go watch Air Force every home game, and man, it's just 110% effort. These guys have still got a commitment when they're done playing football. So they're out there to enhance their experience, of course, but because of the love of the game. And that's what it ultimately, that's what it should be about. And I think this NIL, I think that's where it takes a little bit of the shine off of what a sport and competition is all about. It takes a little bit of that shine off because now you're paying, you're just looking for, let's just get back to the education end of it. What are you
going to pay for me to get a college degree? Perfect.
Yeah, you paid,
and I get to play football.
And you've already got a scholarship. Plus, you get paid.
Exactly. And what you hit on, though, is actually, and I think we kind of lean that direction where it's the ones that and I talked about this because my youngest son, he played and he's done. He's out working in the real world now, and he was a college football player. And when you see what they do, the family dynamic, the camaraderie that these guys build, because come on, man, they know they're not going to be playing in the NFL on Sundays. Okay. Can some of them go to the CFL? Sure. Maybe get it on an arena league somewhere if they want to keep going. But there's a reality to that is very, very difficult because these kids have spent their entire life doing this. And when I say that, I'm not joking. These kids start playing football at 5, sometimes younger. And they go all the way through high school. And then if they can go through college, I mean, I appreciate the fact that they do it. The ones that get the scholarships and the money and whatever, congratulations. But we're looking at what college football is now, these power schools. And it's more of it's a business to me. It's a juggernaut. It's like we have to produce X amount of draft picks this year from this college. And then I guarantee you there's some backdoor bonus to some coach because of how many guys got drafted in the first round on some of these big schools. And I could be wrong, but I wouldn't be shocked in the least.
You guys want to talk some baseball?
Hell yeah.
Baseball.
Ohtani, right?
What do you want to talk about?
Ohtani, the big fish. You know, we love Ohtani on this the show. He said the reports are that he's gonna try and sign this week.
I saw the same report.
Any guesses?
I saw a report where Red Sox are right there in the top 3, boys.
There's You think he goes to Boston?
I don't know, man. What are the taxes like in Massachusetts?
I see him going to the Dodgers. I honestly.
Yeah, right. It sucks, but you're like.
Here's the difference, though.
That makes more sense.
As we've talked, I mean, the Dodgers, I think, would be the obvious choice. They've got the money, they can do it, and he doesn't have to move very far at all. But there are players. Tyreek Hill with the Dolphins was very vocal about signing with Miami. No state income tax. Their tax structure is so much better. He was very open about it. Why wouldn't I come play in South Beach? I mean, obviously the weather's good, but the amount of money in taxes. So you talk about the Red Sox, Jimmy. What's the tax structure in Massachusetts versus California? I mean, it could result in a few $1 million. I don't know.
A few million, but let's be real about what Ohtani's going to sign for. Do you really think he gives 2 shits about a couple $1 million in taxes?
God, I would hope so.
It could be about the principle.
But then endorsements and shit too. You're in LA and you're fucking Ohtani. All the same shit, all the New Balance, and actually, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that doesn't change that much because he's already down there. But you think San Francisco has any chance?
I don't think the Giants do. I think it'll be the Dodgers, if anybody.
I think it's gonna be the Dodgers.
So what about Juan Soto?
Oh, that's a tougher one.
Juan Soto's coming up, and what's Juan Soto? 22, 23?
He's very young.
Where do we think he's going to go?
So I'd like to say he's going to be a Met, but no.
Does anybody know his contract situation right now? Because I think the deal is with the Padres is that he can opt out right after this season.
I thought
I'm not sure.
I thought it was last season. I thought he was just basically hired gun. And I thought it's this year that he's looking for a new contract. And again, he's going to get signed for God knows how much.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
You know, I don't know. I don't see the Mets doing it without dropping a bunch of the salary they've already got. The Mets and the Cubs have
they're still paying on people they shipped out.
Right. Still paying Bobby Bonilla.
Fuck my Mets. I love him, but I hate him.
Verlander, I thought I just saw something the other day, is going to be like their 4th highest paid player next season.
That's probably very true. But here's what I fully expect. As a Mets fan, I expect them to go after Yamamoto, the pitcher out of Japan who's the free agent. I'm not kidding you. I think the Mets are going to push hard for him to be an ace on that mound. And because of shit, we got rid of everybody because we sucked last year. I think Yamamoto, and I think that kid coming out of Japan, he is so good. He could
is
literally
he the only
right
three-time? I thought I saw he's the only three-time MVP MVP. The second. I think it was him and Ichiro.
Yeah.
I think it was him and Ichiro were the only three-time MVPs.
They're talking. He's pretty much guaranteed $200 million in his contract. I'm thinking it'll be more like $250. And if I know my Mets, why not spend every dime you got, and then some you don't have? They'll probably offer me even more. I'm hoping though, because I need something like that after our fiasco on the hill last year with our pitching. Give us somebody and make it young and put some butts in the seats too. But I know the Yankees are in play on him. Ohtani, I think that's going to end up being. I think he stays in California. I would actually love it if he became a Red Sox. I would. I think it'd be cool as shit if he.
Do you think Yamamoto? Do you think Yamamoto is waiting to see where Ohtani goes?
Very well could be, because he now is allowed to negotiate.
Well, and they were teammates at the World
Yeah.
Baseball Classic and stuff. I'm sure they know
Yep.
each
And
other.
Ohtani came out and said this week that's a rumor out of his camp that in the next coming week he's going to decide where he's going. I think that could dictate where Yamamoto goes.
I would hate to see Boston actually. And don't take this wrong, but I don't want to see Boston sign Ohtani because he can't pitch. He's not going to pitch next year. Right. So now you're looking 2
No,
years.
He's still the best player, even if he's not a pitcher, though. That's what's so
He
crazy.
is, but that's not where the Red Sox need the help. They don't need another DH.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that's fair.
but they need pitching, and it sounds like they're going to get Jordan Montgomery. So that's going to help. But again, that's second. Almost, I shouldn't say that because the kid pitched well this year, but that's almost second tier shit that they're going after. I would just rather see them do something about their pitching situation. Their lineup looks pretty decent. I mean, they've got a perennial MVP candidate with Devers.
Oh yeah,
they got that kid, that left fielder from Japan, and I want to say his name is Yamamoto too. They've got him. Justin Turner's still there. You know, they've got some pieces that they're gonna score runs and stuff, but they got to be able to hold somebody to less runs than they score, and
right.
they just can't. They just can't do that. They're starting.
They need pitching a little bit more.
Yeah, before they even get to their bullpen was good this year, but the games were so out of hand by the time they could even get to the bullpen. Why pitch your studs out of the bullpen in an 8-3 game?
Yeah, true.
You know,
but again, does Shohei flirt with that? Like, hey, in 26, I'll pitch for you, or 25, whatever year, I'll come be your starter. And
that's that very well could be true. I mean, he comes back healthy in 2025. And
you don't know, man.
And now you've got your bona fide ace. Plus,
yes,
you've got an MVP guy at the plate. So
1000%. It's tough, man. I'm kind of excited to see where he goes. I mean, it's no different than us kind of going off on the football playoff, college football playoff.
I know we've talked about it before, but how the fuck does a team with Ohtani and Trout not do anything?
Anything? Well, there you go. What can you surround yourself? You got $600 million worth of contract right there. What else?
And 2 players
surround yourself with, and pitching and everything else. I mean,
and you're the Angels.
I think
they don't have that kind of coin.
There's also a culture, I think, with the Angels that they're just not gonna. They're never gonna be that. They're just never gonna be there. I don't know, man. So many years and so many players have gone through that system. Good players, and they've still never done anything. I mean, right?
Hey, I saw Matt Canada got fired.
That was stellar. I had to text you guys on that one.
Finally,
that took way too long, Jimmy.
I know it took way too long, and the thing is that the game after he gets fired, their first 400 yards of offense in 54 games.
I fucking saw that. I was like, holy shit.
Fuck, man, I'm a Steeler fan. And I didn't realize they hadn't had 400 yards of offense in 54 games, 3 seasons.
Wow.
Hey, you know what? That's a good tie into NFL, because that right there, I mean, there's already a bunch of firings happening in college, but right now we're getting in the later parts of the NFL season. I mean, Tyler, your team's sitting really nice. My team's sitting really nice. I think the Steelers are in a good position. I think they needed to get rid of Canada probably about before the season, but that's okay. They took a little too long, but I mean, this is going to be exciting too. Like, we're talking about the playoffs and how this is going to shape up for college. The NFL is going to be insane too, because we've got teams that we always figured would be there, should be there, and they're not anywhere. I mean, who you guys think is going to come out and really start to own something?
Look at this. Look at the bullshit. Look at the NFC South. Oh my God.
Yeah, they've been like that, it seems like, for a couple years now.
Well, yeah, the Saints, the Buccaneers, though, have been,
with Tom Brady, Buccaneers were good.
Yeah, the Tom Brady Buccaneers.
But other than that, these teams make the playoffs with, up till recently, a 500 record, 7-9. wins the division.
7-9 has
you know?
made it. 7 and
under
9.
under 500 wins this division.
You're looking at 4-7 Tampa Bay in the hunt. What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Only because they're only a game back from the Saints.
Yeah.
Yep. And who's really paying attention to that?
Which one of those teams is going to get it right first?
I would think the Saints. Of those two, I don't know, man. I mean, fuck.
Of all four of them, if all four of them, who's the most likely to climb out of this shit and go like, no, now we win 12 games a year because we kick the fucking dog shit out of our division.
The best quarterback in that entire division is Derek Carr.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, I think that's like hands down.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's like
that's who you got to hang your hat on is New Orleans because they've got Derek Carr and they've got pieces around him. You know, a decent defense.
They've got talent. They got some talent.
Look at Atlanta. You look at Atlanta that's pulled out some big wins and stuff this year. But Desmond Ritter's not the guy.
No.
You know,
Bijan Robinson looks good, but then like Kyle Pitts was drafted 4th overall.
Yeah.
That hasn't worked.
Nope.
Have you guys paid any attention to the rumblings? Because I know we joked about it with Belichick because Zappy, right? Because Tyler, you've got all the information on Zappy. He's starting again. This toying with Mac Jones is done. I think Belichick has such a hard on for Don Shula's win record. I don't know that he's going to walk away, but he's got 2 wins.
Yeah.
I mean, the AFC East, everybody thought that was going to be like one of the top power divisions in all of football. And no, the Bills went on a slide and the Patriots can't win and the Jets suck because Rodgers went down. And it's fortunate for me on my team.
How the fuck is Aaron Rodgers already coming back?
He's at practice.
I know, dude. I saw a video of him throwing the football the other day.
Dude, he knows something. He knows something that the rest of us don't. He does.
Well,
he went and did some crazy procedure, right? Like that was the whole thing. Is like he did something that was different.
Some new innovative Achilles repair.
79.
Whatever,
I saw a thing that said 79 days from the time he tore to the time he came off the IR.
Last I heard, it just came out was that they don't anticipate him playing this year.
Probably
and
not.
Even after. But why would you? Why would you rush it with your team sitting where your team's sitting? You know, if you had a shot at the playoffs, maybe.
If they make the playoffs, maybe.
Doing. Yeah. Well, if they're in the run for the playoffs, they're talking about late December against the Commanders. If they're close, I don't see them being close. I think Rodgers should just sit out the rest of this year. He's doing what he's doing though is key, guys, because he's building that team thing by being at practice, getting some reps, probably not getting first team reps. I get that, but throwing to the receivers, looks like, he's looking forward to next year. And so I don't know. It's unbelievable to me. And just the things that you've heard about Aaron Rodgers and with the COVID thing and the mushrooms and,
ayahuasca.
Yeah. You just gotta think that, yeah, he knows something we don't, and good for him.
Fucking hey, you know what? And here's the thing, though. I think you're right. I think what he's doing is building that team to just grab onto him. And
could you imagine though being those receivers and running a route in practice? Like you're just warming up, right? Not even on the defense. You're just running routes, and Aaron Rodgers on one foot is putting it right here every time.
Yeah.
And then you have to go to the other side with Boyle or fucking Zach Wilson or whoever. And you're like, God damn, I couldn't even fucking catch that. I bet that help. I don't know if that helps or hurts.
The kicker too, though, and I got to be honest with you, I hate the Jets as a Dolphins fan. I hate them. But I will tell you one thing I do appreciate is their coach. Saleh, I love the guy, and I think the players love playing for him. And I think with Rodgers doing what he's doing, the Jets could be damn scary next year. They come back healthy, they can be damn scary because Rodgers is that good. He can take a team that is below 500 and make them a playoff team just by showing
and
up.
what with another piece, you got Brees Hall, you got Garrett Wilson. All right.
Yep.
What the hell happened to Alan Lazard? He's in the doghouse or something, man.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Like healthy scratch and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened to Lazard, but they've got some pieces that they could be really good on offense,
and their defense is good.
Their defense is good.
Yeah. You think the Ravens can make a big run, T? I think they can.
I would like to think so, man. I do. The Ravens defense has shown flashes of being like dominant, but they've also blown their 3 losses. They've blown 2 14-point leads and a 10-point lead. So
I look at Jackson.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's hard to believe in the Ravens right now. But like, don't get me wrong. Of course, I see a scenario where they can win every single game, but until you start to put teams away, I think is the biggest thing. And with a running game like the Ravens have, it's really hard to imagine where they cannot put these games away.
That's a fact.
You know, and
right.
so that's
as good as the Ravens have looked and the way people are talking about them, they're only 1 game up on the Steelers and the Browns.
Exactly. And they've lost games to both of those teams that
and
they should have won.
Their division record is way worse.
Yeah, their division record's not good.
Pittsburgh's division record is through the roof, but you know, and they're only a game ahead of pretty much the worst offense in the NFL. And you know, it's that not being
but they'll come out against the Ravens and have 4 yards in the first half and then come out and gunsling the shit, and all of a sudden you're like, motherfucker, great. Because those games are so like unpredictable. The AFC North games are so unpredictable.
Yep, I agree.
I've watched Jimmy Steelers look like a fucking hardcore playoff team, and then I've also seen them look like a dumpster fire on a different week.
And then
it's the same game. You'll see it in the same game, half to half. You're like, holy fuck, these guys suck. And I bet against them, and then they beat some team that you're like, oh, what in the fuck?
What the fuck is going on here? That's Jim's voodoo that he does. He's got that voodoo doll at home with the pins, and it's got the Steelers jersey on it. But yeah,
they are so above my expectations for this year. I don't even know what to say. I want to apologize to everybody, you know, when they win. I'm like, fuck, sorry, especially there's some Ravens fans here and my, you know, Ty, you know, are and I want to apologize, but at the same time, I don't want to be like, yeah, they suck that bad.
But they won.
Even though they
just beat your team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I got a team that gets beat down because they can't beat the good team. So we got a stretch coming up. We'll see. We shall see. And that's the other thing. So we were talking about Rodgers and that Achilles. Jalen Phillips, RD end. Jalen Phillips was having a breakout year, same exact injury. So whatever the hell Rodgers did, and for a quicker return, I hope Jalen, hey, call him up, hey, Aaron. Same thing. The weirdest thing, when you saw Rodgers, when that happened, and Jalen Phillips too, you see him start to take off, and then you see their calf just like climb up to the back of their knee. I mean, it's freaky to see when you watch it. It's kind of like watching Theismann's leg break way back in the day. Just because you know how bad that's got to be. So hopefully we'll see. Maybe the medical field, and I think Aaron Rodgers is going to get better.
It's crazy. Tommy John's. Not that big of a deal. ACLs. Fucking Adrian Peterson came back in like 8 months and then rushed for the most yards of his career.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's the
amazing
modern
how
medicine
much.
thing is crazy.
I still don't like doctors, but yeah, you're right. It's a lot better than it has been. If you're an athlete, yes.
Well,
absolutely.
yeah, hopefully, I mean, the hope is right that you don't have to go to the doctor.
So, hey, so you said you were kind of a little bit under the weather, right, Tyler? So how you feeling now? You've had a couple of beers. Is this helping?
I've had 6 beers, so yeah, I feel a little bit better.
I feel like that is going to help you feel better because yesterday it was kind of an off day for you not having any now. I think this is going to make all the difference. But gentlemen, we should probably, I got some NFL stuff coming up. We get on some curtain calls before we wrap this up. What do you guys think? Anybody got something they want to talk about?
Yeah, I got one.
Okay.
Platinum Mike Perry. He was in the UFC for a while. He had a so-so UFC career, but now he fights in the bare knuckle, the BKFC. And
that's brutal.
He just fought. I've brought this up before with like the bare knuckle fighting thing, how big it's getting, and how they're starting to see like big names, like fairly big names that are recognizable, I guess. I'm not saying big names, but Mike Perry just beat Eddie Alvarez last night. Eddie Alvarez was one of the baddest dudes in the UFC for a long time. He had a great
and
UFC
he went bare
career.
Knuckle.
And he fought Mike Perry last night, and Eddie Alvarez's corner threw in the fucking towel.
Holy shit!
Mike
well, I
Perry,
told you they are getting bigger names.
Yeah,
sure.
they're getting names that are, if nothing else, recognizable. And so yeah, shout out this guy, Platinum Mike Perry. He's a character for sure, but like he's a bad dude without gloves on.
Right on. I dig that. So cheers to that. So Jimmy, you got one for us?
I do. Hot Pockets. My curtain call shout out goes to Hot Pockets. You know, when we were kids and when they first came out and they were so good. Have a box of them in the freezer, get home from school, get home from practice, and throw one of them in, you know. Awesome. Well, I just rediscovered them. And holy shit. Dude, it takes me literally, I get home from work and in 20 minutes I'm done with shower and dinner.
Hey, you know they make a thing called lean pockets, right?
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure you knew that. I don't mean that any sort of way, but just so you know, they do make a thing called lean pockets.
Yeah, fuck them lean pockets.
They're not that healthy anyway.
Pocket,
come on, man.
Hot pocket is actually a drug term also. That little pocket in your blue denim jeans, that tiny little pocket that's always in one of your bigger pockets.
Change pocket.
They call that a hot pocket.
Get the fuck out of here. Where do you come up with this stuff?
That's a thing. No, I didn't just make that up.
That's good. That's good to know. That's good to know. But
yeah, you got drugs in your hot pocket.
I'm talking about the Hot Pockets, the fucking pizza things that meatballs, ham and cheese.
Yeah, they'll burn the fuck out of your tongue though. You gotta
let them sit for a minute for sure.
Yeah, they are hot when they come out of the microwave.
Yep. So
I feel like we can all appreciate some Hot Pockets.
We look like a bunch of fucking Hot Pockets.
Oh, trust me. Do you know how many Hot Pockets I have sitting in my freezer right now? A lot of them. I'm just going to throw that out there because it's quick and easy. And yeah, I mean, it'll make a turd for sure. Anyway, real quick, and I didn't see too much of this, but I know she's been out for a while. Miesha Tate just came back, and I don't know if any of us watched the fights. I didn't get a chance to. But sounds like she just completely dominated her fight. And what has it been, like 17 months or something since she's been in? I had heard, I'm not sure. But I remember seeing her fight and just own people. And I was like, okay, well, hey, if you're going to come back and you're going to do that well, I'll give you a curtain call for sure.
Cupcake.
Didn't get a chance to see the fights, though. So I don't know if you guys did, but. So, all right, gentlemen. So let's get on to some football today, and goddamn, we're going to be excited for college football going forward, and hopefully Pat didn't make it. Hopefully everything's good there with Marianne, and we'll all be together next time. So, here we go, boys. Cheers.
Niners Eagles.
Cheers.
Cheers.